That is still pretty hard to understand. Can you give an example? It is often asked, do animals retain their appearance in the subtle world? Rarely, because the absence of consciousness renders them formless. Sometimes there are foggy outlines, like impulses of energy, but most often they are imperceptible. In fact, the manifestation of animals pertains to the lower strata of the subtle world. Such obscurities can terrify one by their nebulous appearance. I consider that the subtle body of man should not remain in these strata, but in their consciousness people frequently resemble animals. This means an animal does not yet have a fully developed subtle body. The pyramid of its essence consists essentially of the lowest, the material basis only. The two higher levels are missing. A stone does not know that it is a stone. An animal has only a very little developed consciousness. It can hardly recognize itself, and certainly not its higher self, its soul. Thus, the animal lacks the crucial prerequisite for consciously molding its non-material being with which it appears in the subtle world. Therefore, it is formless, shapeless, and thus almost non-existent there. What does that mean for us, humans? In the subtle world, we can appear because our subtle body is adequately formed. In the highest layers, in heaven, in the fiery world, we cannot dwell yet because we have not developed our fiery body. The human pyramid is far from finished. The top floor has yet to be completed. Your soul has almost no shape at all. You first have to give it an identity that distinguishes it from others and a form which allows it to appear and to act meaningfully in the fiery world as well as on the material level. From the faceless mass, the raw material that you find, you must create your eternal individuality. For the practical purposes of everyday life, transformation into an immortal spiritual being therefore means you have yet to create your true eternal individuality. This is a tremendous achievement, a true act of creation. From the unprocessed raw material of your soul, you create a work of art. But not a dead statue, but a new living being, your higher self. You are the creator of your own soul. A symbol for this is the David which Michelangelo chiseled out of the marble block in which he was hidden. Those attributes are the very substance of the higher self. They create its form and essence under as fixed and immutable laws as those which govern the accretion of the human body. Educate your soul like an adolescent. Your eternal individuality knows so much about itself that it can train itself. This is why the teaching speaks so much of self-education or self-perfection. You proceed the same way as a 15-year-old who decides to become a tennis player or a pianist. He imagines a picture of himself, an ideal, a personality with certain qualities which he has yet to develop. Your higher self is still like a toddler, but at least further educated than that of an animal, and already so great that it can and must take its development into its own hands. Unlike with the animals, the further evolution of us humans is impossible without our active participation. How can I create my own soul? A fascinating question, which I am unable to answer. Yes, there is a gigantic challenge ahead of us. How are we to educate a being that one can neither see nor touch? Your supra-temporal individuality is a creature from the subtle world. How is everything that exists created there? The whole reality: food, clothing, habitation, tools, vehicles, technical devices, institutions, worlds. By thoughts and feelings. Yes, that's the way it is. Your higher spiritual ego consists of subtle matter, of the vibrations of the subtle world, of the stuff dreams are made of. This most fine substance is formless in its original state. Through thoughts, we can bring it into a concrete frame. So, how do you shape your higher self? With the help of my own thoughts and feelings. Exactly. Constantly, every thought and every feeling weaves on your eternal individuality. Constantly, you are creating yourself, your higher self, yourself. Even the slightest sensation forms the texture of the subtle body. Every intention, every idea, every ideal, every motive, every expression of will, every conception defines and shapes your spiritual being. That is why it is said that what counts are not so much the deeds, but rather the motives. Beautiful and great thoughts like joy, love, and self-sacrifice build a beautiful, great soul. On the other hand, if you allow hideous, small thoughts and feelings to arise, such as rudeness, anger, irritability, envy, selfishness, malice, or aggression, you turn your own spiritual being into an ugly, small figure. Thus, my job is to shape for myself an eternal being, a soul, through my own thoughts and feelings. Indeed, you do that anyway. Every one of us does that at any moment. But from now on, you are a sculptor who consciously creates a work of art out of yourself, out of the unformed raw material of your soul. We recognize the immense importance of mastering our thoughts and feelings. What you are depends upon your thoughts and feelings. Man is what he thinks. You should harbor only positive thoughts and feelings and not admit negative ones. You should not allow adverse circumstances, the selfishness, malice, or stupidity of your fellow human beings to trigger ugly thoughts and feelings within you, which cause, above all, one thing: they distort your own higher self. You are a giant when you think and feel like a giant. How should I imagine my spiritual being? Here is the problem. It does not even exist yet. It is created only by your imagination. What is the first step? Now we are coming to the crucial point. There is only one way to consciously shape your eternal individuality in such a way that it does not remain nebulous, but assumes a clearly defined form and identity. Without a blueprint, there is no meaningful construction. That means you have to form a picture of what you, your higher self, want to be. Then you can mold yourself, your eternal self, according to this ideal. One of the most important teachings of the Mahatmas is you have to form an ideal pattern and then mold the soul substance by or into that ideal. There are many unnecessary and hurtful protuberances to lop off, many cavities to be filled, organs to be changed before that ideal form can be completed. But the fact that you have the power to do it should be a strong incentive to effort. To form a picture means you first have to define who you are or who you want to be. Do I have the choice? Unlike on the physical level, yes. In the subtle world, the possibilities are unlimited. There you can build anything you can think of. There, the expense of your own consciousness is the only limit which is set for you. Only that, what you cannot imagine, you cannot create either. This also applies to you yourself, to the work of art, which is to become your eternal self. You have the free choice. Who or what do you want to be? An infinite variety of identities is available to you. A disciple, a teacher, an apprentice, or an Agni Yoga master, a male spiritual warrior, or a female spiritual warrior, a healer, a leader, an hierarch, a king of the world, or a king of the spirit, an envoy of the brotherhood, a protector of the poor and disenfranchised like Robin Hood, a saint, an hermit, an artist, a thinker and philosopher, a priest, a mother of physical and spiritual children, and much more. Everything is possible. You can completely reinvent yourself. This is a great opportunity, but also a huge responsibility. All of a sudden, not God is the creator, but you. Form a distinguished picture of the person to which you want to shape your eternal individuality, with a beautiful face, a dignified garment, and in a sublime environment, as the one you see here.